How's it going? It's time for episode 2 of Spicy Time. Alright, so in our first episode we made garlic powder. Tonight we're going to make onion powder. This is a little bit more simpler than the garlic powder was because of the fact we had to, clean up all the cloves and get them ready to go. Also, with the garlic we had to mince it and then kind of put it on some parchment paper. Well, we have a much simpler time, I believe, with what we're going to do tonight. So with the onions, what we're going to do is we're going to take a mandolin and we're going to just slice it really, really thin. Now I have 3 onions that I picked up from my local store. We're using white onions. And the cost of an 8-ounce bottle of onion powder is about just a little over $4. So I got $4 worth of white onions. And as I said, we're going to slice it on the mandolin. And then we're just going to separate those slices and load them up on the trays. It is that simple. Now, the dehydrating time and temperature for this, the suggested temperature is 125 degrees. The times noted is anywhere between 3 and 9 hours. Really, it's dependency on how thick your slices are and what the moisture content of your onions are. These are very moist onions, but they're very thin as well. So we're going to just set it for 9 hours. Now I can't set it for 125. Mine goes in weird increments. So we're going to do 122 degrees. We're just going to set it for 9 hours and let it roll and see how it goes. Now, I'm sure we'll have to come in several times and stir this around. We did because, as you slice up the onions, they fluff up, right? So there's just a ton of onions, and we've got a lot of it stacked on top of each other on the trays, but separated. And so we're just going to fire it up, come back every now and then, give it a stir, rotate the tray tables, and I don't know. At the end of the day, I guess once the onion rings are crisp, basically they say if you can fold them and they just break rather than fold, which makes sense, that they're ready, and we're going to do what we did last time and grind these up in the spice grinder. So that's our process. We've sliced the onions, we've loaded the trays, we've set the timer and temp. Let's let this roll, and I guess I'll see you back here in a few hours. I'll show you one tray rotation just to see what it looks like, but I don't know how many times we're going to rotate this throughout the day. But in the meantime, let's go. All right, it's been about 2.5 hours. We're going to go ahead and probably rotate these trays and maybe give this a little bit of a stir and see if we can help it along. Alright, so you can certainly tell it's working in the right direction, but not anywhere near done, especially where there was large clumps of it. Of course, the bottom was much more done than the top, so we have rotated the trays, we have stirred everything around. We'll come back in a couple hours and check it again, see how it looks then. Alright, see ya. Alright, it's been 5 hours and 15 minutes. We're going to check it out, see if it needs rotating or a little stirring. I still don't think it's quite done, but let's take a look and see what we get. Alright, so I was able to consolidate down a couple of trays. As this is drying, it's shrinking. So consolidated it down, continuing to let it dry. Some of it's ready, some of it's not. So we're going to give it, I don't know, check it hourly, see how it does. All right, there we have it. After a good solid 7 or 8 hours, this is finally, for the most part, dry. There's a few pieces that just didn't dry, and I don't have the patience to dry a few pieces. So basically what we're going to do next is we're going to put this in the spice grinder and grind this up into powder. And then if you remember, I have these nice little flip top rubber gasketed bottles, 4 ounces each, and we're going to fill these up. Now, I also put a little gel pack in there in order to absorb any moisture. And let's go ahead and get these full. As you see, we've filled up 3 of these, which indicates we had about 12 ounces of yield, which again is about 50% more than we would have got in the bottle for the same price. So we have a really nice product here. It is pungent, it is strong, and that's what we want. We don't want the old store-bought, who knows how old stuff. So we've got some very potent onion powder here. We got a 50% greater yield for the price. And yeah, it took a little bit of effort. I mean, not a whole lot. This machine did the work. I just went and did other things. But so we have onion powder now. Tomorrow, we're going to make a recipe with this onion powder, and let's just see how good it really is. Tune back in then and see what we make.